Welcome to the Caddo Convos, the podcast that explores the vibrant community of businesses thriving in Caddo Office Reimagined. We're here to shine a light on the incredible entrepreneurs and professionals who make the most of our private offices, co-working spaces, and day office rentals in the Dallas-Fort Worth suburbs. Join us as we share their stories, celebrate their successes, and dive into the benefits of working in a space that's close to home but offers so much more than working from home. Let's get started with today's conversation. Joining me today on the Caddo Convos is Shaune Corbett of Real Estate Success DFW. How you doing, Shaune?
I'm above average today.
Awesome. Above average on a Friday is a great way to be. So tell me, what do you do and who do you serve?
So my market is the real estate agents here in Dallas-Fort Worth. That's my primary market.
Yeah.
And I've decided to take my general podcast space, which I call Real Estate Success DFW. That's the name of my podcast.
Excellent.
And then I've developed a Facebook group called Real Estate Success DFW. And my Facebook group, I'm cultivating and creating a community of broker neutral agents, meaning I don't care where they come from. And I want to do two things. I want to create a community opportunity for them to connect with me and for them to connect with other agents. And then I also want to offer training opportunities to help them grow their business.
Terrific. So that's pretty broad. So let's talk about how you got to this. Like what inspired creating the group, creating the podcast? Walk me through the journey.
It's a great question. So I've been in real estate for about 18 years, and I've sold over 500 transactions. I've done over 300 million just here locally. So I have a ton of volume, and I've done a lot of training in the past. I've owned my own brokerage. I've been there where most agents are wanting to get to, or they want to get from, whatever it is. Generally speaking, I've been there. And I found that I was really good at solving real estate problems. Anything that you can come up with for residential transactions. So I kind of got into this problem solving space, and I was solving real estate problems for agents in my brokerage, on my team, and outside of that. And then I just started expanding and opening up my meetings and opportunities for other agents to be a part of. And I got this idea, why couldn't I create a space where I could interview successful agents, share those stories, and give back to other agents. And then from there, I could grow a actual community that's broker neutral. And that's kind of where a lot of it began and started. And that's where I've gotten this momentum coming. Yeah. I just started my Facebook group, I think about 6 months ago. I have over 800 in it now. And my target's to get to about 3,000.
Okay.
Which is a very big number considering the amount of agents in Dallas-Fort Worth. I would say, I think it's like 40,000 or something, but getting that much of the market share is pretty good. And my objective is to create more and more communities. The more agents I have, the better things I can provide. And there's no financial benefit for me to do this, but I do want to have some influence and connection with really good agents, because someday I'll really be able to give a lot more back. Yeah. But you've got to build in order to be able to get there. So that's kind of the short version of where I came from and kind of what I'm doing and where I'm going. I don't know where I'm going to end up.
Nobody does.
I coach, I train. I've got a number of community events that I provide, and it's all been, it's been really fun and exciting. I'm here in Flower Mound. That's where and I'll be here for the foreseeable future. I live in Flower Mound. My office is in Flower Mound. Most of my community events are going to be right here. I've got a 30-man training room here in the Flower Mound location. So I'm comfortable around that size. I'm not trying to get, hundreds of people. I just don't feel like I can connect with hundreds at the same time. But, 20 to 25-ish is a really good number that I'm looking for on my monthly helping agent meetings.
So let's talk about those. On your Facebook page, I imagine you offer these. Let's talk about what's covered in these meetings and why people should attend.
Sure. So my target training, I could do the trainings, but I really don't want to be the face and the facilitator for everything. So I call in help. I call in other agents that are really good in this space, and all of them have niches and things they're really good at. I just had one that was training on sphere of influence and how to really maximize your connectiveness with the people you know. I have another one teaching their CRM. Everyone's got a CRM. There's a lot of nuggets in there that's going to be incredibly valuable for agents to utilize, and everyone has them in their CRM. And I've got another training coming. It's basically agent-to-agent referrals, which is unbelievably powerful, because if you can do that, yes, you have to give up a referral, but I'd rather pay another agent 30% than a company I don't know 30%. So there's a really value add on the agent-to-agent referral. That's coming up this following Thursday. Really powerful. And she calls thousands of people to her meetings. She's going to come to a training at one of my events. So I'm getting some really good talent coming out to my events and sharing, and they're being very transparent. They're not holding back. One of the things in our space that's consequential is we've all grown up in this space where we hyper-focus and we localize, where we don't feel like, we feel like everyone is a competitor. And a lot of agents, hold back on sharing things that have worked for them. I've spent a lot of my energy and time. I share everything. I don't hold anything back. Buddy, the thing for me is that I could teach you everything that I do and you can't be me, and the same thing, even if I taught you everything I did, you still couldn't be me. And if you taught me everything you do, I can't be you. I can't interview people the way you're interviewing people, right? I mean, it's just something that I think we have to start letting go of our ego. And that's something that a lot of the agents that come and train at my facility, that they're willing to just give it away, knowing that, that's not a direct competitor. And this all centered around the old style was brick and mortar, right? We'd all go to these offices, we would have local trainers, local events, and everything was going to be territorial, because that local office only had like the 1 or 2 zip codes. So if I'm teaching you how to farm my neighborhood, you may come into my neighborhood and copy and paste me. That's why they hold back and say, well, I can't teach anything. But that creates competition. And I think collaboration is going to be better for the industry in general. Yeah. So I'm really focused on community and collaboration.
I'm hearing that a lot, and I've actually adopted that philosophy myself, Shaune. And the philosophy being, you are your only competition. Really, because you're the person that has to get you up out of bed every day and go out there and do things, right? Now, other people are competing in your area, maybe your area of expertise, but they're competing against themselves as well. So I think, especially in such a broad market, the real outcome here is serving the customers who have needs in a very large market. Let's talk about the things that people need to learn that these classes are centered around. What is being taught?
Let's come back to that just for a second. I'm going to give a really good example. Agents can relate to this. Let's say you want to start sending out a newsletter. Okay. And there's a popular one, we call it Keeping Current Matters. It's probably the top newsletter for agents to be able to utilize. A lot of good information, a lot of good tools and tips, a lot of, you can even create video content and it'll give you all the charts and stuff as you talk. So it sounds real professional, really sharp item to use. But, agents hold back on utilizing these tools because they feel like if I sign up with them and a competing agent signs up with them, then we're sending the same information. And this is what I remind everyone. Your database is not someone else's database. The chances of that end buyer or seller getting that same newsletter is almost not even multipliable. You could even calculate it. It's so minuscule. And if they did, so what? It's you being in front of them, right? That's that top of mind benefit. I feel the same thing with training. Me showing you how to stay in front of your database and be effective with your own sphere isn't going to make you, directly competing with me, and I'm trying to start working backwards and unraveling a lot of that. Another big thing that's happened in our industry is we have this philosophy that brokers sell real estate. Brokers don't sell real estate in our business anymore. It's been almost 10, 15 years since that was even a relevant thing. Agents sell real estate. And I'll give you the easiest example. If I sell a house with a broker today, and then I move to another broker next month, when that person's ready to sell again, after I sold them the home, they're going to call me. They're not calling the broker. So the agents control the direction of the industry, not the broker. So that's a big distinction that's really changed over the last 10, 15 years. And I can go through the history of why, but that's what the result has been. As far as classes, I've named a few earlier, but my focus is how do I give value to agents and help grow their business? It's not just agents that I have come out and train. I also put a lot of energy and effort into, and I call them vendors. Vendors to us are like, insurance, mortgage, title, inspectors, and anyone in those spaces that are all driven by our business. I mean, they all are driven by the real estate agent business. So we're in the middle. Is some of them have learned to adopt and train and add value to agents. So I target some of them that can bring something really valuable to agents. For example, I was talking to a photographer earlier today, and she's got a really expert Linktree system set up. When she meets someone new, she can get on her phone in the text and type a code. For her, it's ZZZ. And it automatically sends to that contact how to enroll and set up a photography session with her. Okay, super fast and easy. Imagine if you and I connect and we share phones, or we do a dot. I use a dot card for mine, and then I enter that code immediately to you. I don't have to type everything out. It'll actually automatically type out a full message, tell you all the things that you need to cover, and you don't have to explain it again. And then a link back to maybe your Linktree or wherever you want to take them to the next step. And it does it just by hitting, ZZZ. So she's going to come out and teach agents how to utilize and set up your Linktree one. So you have an easy, clean transfer of information with somebody. And then even farther, now here's the next step. We're going to turn it into a power tool. So I have her coming out to train next month. And she's not an agent, but agents can absolutely take that right now and add that to their business, and it costs them nothing. I have two core things that I really train on more than anything else. The number one thing that I start with is, how do I build my business without spending money? Okay. That's a core value for me. It's success without spending. And there's a lot of reasons that I landed here. Probably the number one reason is I never worked for a broker before. So I had to learn everything from scratch. Okay. No one taught me about calling cold leads, FSBOs, expired listings, or sending out postcards. I just learned everything from my own experience just doing it. And, from there came out an outpouring of realizing that 95% of my closings are sphere of influence. And it's not just about putting people in my sphere. I've got thousands of people in my sphere, but it's about staying in front of them a certain number of times a year so that you're top of mind when it's relevant. That's a really core value too. So I have success without spending, and then I have success in your sphere, fully developed training programs that I have available as well.
What do you enjoy most about what you do?
In this particular space, I really enjoy the events that we put together, and I have new agents come out. I like to hear their story. I like to hear, where are they from and where do they want to go and how can I help them? That's really been something that really fuels my energy. I'm driven naturally, but just having something like that, just like, okay, great. Now let's help you grow your business, and I'm going to get you set up on a few things to start growing tomorrow. That really is pretty inspiring. And I really enjoy doing my podcasts. I'm over 40 episodes now. I'm on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and Google. I'm on all the channels. And my YouTube channel right now is I don't know, about 9-10 months into it. And I'm sitting at probably about 30-40 hours a month of listening time, which is good to me, for something that I only have a target is for agents. So I'm generating, 30 plus hours right now of listening time to my podcast. I know there's a value add for agents out there, and I'm consistently getting the same people coming back, and I'm really growing that. So that's been really exciting to see my outreach, and it's created opportunities. I've gone out and taught at some pretty big events, done training events as well. But I'm just at the point now, just growing my real estate success DFW as fast as I can. And I don't know where it's going. Right now, it's all organic. I have sponsors that are helping me develop the webpage to bring all the SEO. So it starts growing a little bit more on its own, but almost everything so far is just me lifting.
Yeah.
So
and that's how you build initially. So
I think it's stronger.
Yeah.
I've done things before, and we've all seen ads for, like if you have a YouTube channel, hey, we can help you get 2,000 listeners and all. It won't work. I'm going to encourage everyone to really consider staying away from that. Even if it's $100 for 2,000, sounds great. The problem is they're not legitimate audience, and it's going to screw up your algorithm with YouTube. I did it a mistake. I did that on one of my channels, and I got up to like 10,000 on one of my Instagram accounts, and there was no interactions. And they told me they were going to focus on real organic people, and maybe they are real people, but they have nothing to do with what I do.
Yep.
So they're not going to engage my content. So total waste. Don't do it. You got to build it organically. And I know the numbers are really hard to focus on because you just watch it. I'm only at 100. I'm only at 200.
Right. It's like watching paint dry. But
yeah. So even my YouTube channel, I have very few followers on my podcast on YouTube. I think it's like 130 something. But to have 130 and still get 30 hours a month, I have real people that are joining that actually are watching.
Right. And the paid for, we're both podcasters. So what I've seen, Shaune, is it's almost like if you had a storefront and you're paying for traffic.
Yeah.
And what you're paying for effectively when you're paying for the traffic is people to drive by your store. But no one's coming in to buy. No one's coming in to talk to you. That the actual people who are subscribing and watching or listening, those are people who will engage with you. And
that's a good analogy.
Really, that's what I've seen.
I like that.
So best way to contact you, you've listed that, and we'll put all of that. But how do you like to be contacted?
At this point, man, I'm pretty personable. I would say my cell's just fine.
Okay, and we'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah, and you want me to share it on?
No, we'll put in the show notes. What we've found is just if you're listening to Shaune and you want to reach out to him,
and if you don't want a formal call with me and you just want to send me an email, say, hey, thanks for the podcast, I want to talk more. We can. Email's fine too. I'll share that as well. So I have my phone number, my email, and then I have a link for any type of calendar invites. If you want to schedule a time, I can sit down and have an actual conversation with someone as well.
Excellent. Well, Shaune's going to send all that to me, and it'll be on all the platforms. Parting thoughts, Shaune, about what you want people to take away and how best you can help them.
The easiest thing for me, I only have two things. When I do a training, I normally ask for two things. One is to join my Facebook group because all my events are there. I do a lot of short videos that just hit home with people, in selling real estate and how I can, invest in them and help them in their business. And then any community events that I have set up, so in the spring, I'll do basically, I'd say it's free, but they have to charge something or people won't show up. So it's headshots. I do that every spring, and I've actually just been doing that on my own for the last 4 or 5 years. And we used to do it free, but normally charge like $20 or whatever. But headshots are normally several $100s. So I get a bunch of sponsors that cover the cost of it. So I do that event coming up in the spring. But check the Facebook channel. It's a great first thing to do. And the second thing is subscribe. If you are an agent, I'm not looking for everyone else, but agents specifically, join my podcast channel. I've got some really big time interviews on there. I mean, I could start dropping some names here, but for the agents out there, they know who the names are. You're welcome to go to the channel and see who I've interviewed, and you're going to want to hear the stories.
That's terrific. Well, Shaune, thanks for coming in and sharing your earned wisdom in your industry with our audience and getting to know you.
Well, buddy, I appreciate you inviting me and giving me the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today on the Caddo Convos podcast. A huge shout out to our incredible network of members for making our community vibrant and supportive. If you're looking to boost your productivity and reduce the isolation of working from home, consider joining us at Caddo Office Reimagine. Our spaces are designed to meet your evolving needs, support remote work, and foster a sense of community that's hard to find at home. Whether you're a startup aiming for growth, a freelancer seeking a professional setting, or a company looking to optimize resources, Caddo offers a perfect blend of flexibility and innovation. By joining us, you'll be a part of a dynamic business ecosystem that helps you thrive. For more information, visit caddooffices.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Caddo Convos.